5 Friday games, 5 betting edges. We're talking spread, money line, totals, and the why behind every play. Not just the picks, but what the numbers and the matchups are really telling us. Let's get into it. Game 1, Indiana State at number 23, Indiana, 5:30 p.BTN. Indiana's coming in with the obvious talent gap. Power 5 size and speed across the board. What stands out most is the Hoosiers' offensive line, which should be able to lean on Indiana State's front 7 for 4 quarters. That kind of trench control doesn't always show in the first half, but in the second half, it's sustained drives, chunk runs, and gas defenders. The Sycamore's depth just isn't built to handle that rotation, especially once IU starts running tempo or bringing in fresh backs. From a betting standpoint, the play is Indiana minus 24 or better. I'd even buy it to 27 because the cover is most likely decided in the final 20 minutes. Moneyline has no standalone value. It's only useful as a parlay leg. Total leans over 52.5 if Indiana State sneaks in a touchdown or 2, but if the market inflates too high, I'd pass. Projection, Indiana 45, Indiana State 17. Flip risk here is if IU sleepwalks, keeps the playbook vanilla, and allows the dog a backdoor late. Game 2, Colgate at Syracuse, 6 on PACCN. Syracuse owns this series historically, and the setting in the dome plays perfectly to their tempo. Colgate is in a full rebuild right now, and the talent mismatch shows up at 2 critical spots, secondary speed and offensive line protection. The Orange have wideouts who can take a short throw and turn it into 20-30 yards of YAC against Patriot League defenders, and that creates explosive plays without even forcing the quarterback to be perfect. On the other side, Colgate's protection issues are a major red flag. Syracuse's defensive line should live in the backfield, which means negative plays, short fields, and tilted time of possession. Betting edge, Syracuse minus 28 or better, and I'd buy it to 31 if needed. Again, money line is parlay only. Total leans under 56.5 if Colgate's team total is capped under 10 points. If you think Colgate scores twice, then you can look at the over. But backups entering early is a real risk. Projection, Syracuse 38, Colgate 10, with the caveat that an early huge lead could open the back door late. Game 3, Colorado at Houston, 6:30 p. ESPN. Now this is the headliner. Colorado stepping into its first Big 12 road test, while Houston sits 2-0 with a balanced offense and a lot of confidence at home. What makes this tricky is that Houston isn't elite in one thing. They're just solid across the board. The Cougars can run it downhill, and their quarterback is efficient enough to keep the chains moving. Against a Colorado defense that still struggles with run fits, that's a problem. If Houston controls early downs, they stay on schedule, keep drives alive, and keep Sheeter Sanders watching from the sideline. The flip side, Colorado's pass protection has to be much better. Houston will throw pressure looks on third down, and if they're successful, that kills CU drives before they even get rolling. From the market side, Houston minus 3 or better is the right play. Like, I'd buy to 3.5 if needed. Money line is the safer way to back them. A sprinkle on Colorado money line only has value if the number gets to plus 120 or higher. Total should close in the mid 50s. Over 54 to 55.5 has value, especially if Colorado can hit explosives. My projection, Houston 31, Colorado 28. Flip risk is if CU wins early downs and hits chunk plays, the over cashes and the spread becomes a coin flip. Game 4, Kansas State at Arizona, 800 p. Fox. This one's fascinating because Arizona is rolling on offense at home and Kansas State has looked inconsistent. The Wildcats want to lean on their run game, shorten the contest, and keep Arizona's offense on the sideline. But if K-State gets behind the sticks, it turns into trouble. Their passing game just isn't built to consistently win second and long or third and long against a defense that can sit back and cover. Arizona's quick passing game is tailor-made for this matchup. They spread you out, force your corners to tackle in space, and they rarely get stuck in bad downs. That efficiency translates to a high success rate and steady points. From a betting standpoint, anything under a field goal is premium value on Arizona. Take them minus 2.5, minus 3 max. Money line is fine if you want to tie it to Indiana or Syracuse for parlay stability. Total sits low 50s. Lean over because Arizona's offense is humming and K-State will need to answer or get buried. Projection, Arizona 34, Kansas State 27. The risk, if K-State dominates the trenches and turns red zone trips into touchdowns instead of field goals, Arizona could lose the cover late. Game 5, New Mexico at UCLA. 9 o'clock P BTN. Last one on the card. New Mexico at UCLA. The Bruins need a get-right game, and this sets up perfectly. UCLA's defensive front should control the edges early, force the Lobos into passing situations, and when New Mexico is one-dimensional, they just don't have the tools to consistently move the ball. That means UCLA should control field position all night. On the offensive side, the Bruins have the talent to hit explosive plays, especially if New Mexico shows single high safety looks. Expect UCLA to test deep shots early and often. From the betting angle, UCLA minus 14 or better is the play, and I'd buy it to 17 if needed because the depth and talent gap shows up late. Moneyline is safe as a parlay anchor. Total leans under 55.5 unless UCLA really ramps tempo because New Mexico's pace suppresses possessions. Projection, UCLA 31, New Mexico 14. The only danger here is if UCLA turns it over or stalls repeatedly in the red zone. That keeps the Lobos alive on the spread and drags the game under. So there's your Friday 5-pack. Indiana minus 24, Syracuse minus 28, Houston minus 3 with a lean over 54, Arizona minus 2.5, and UCLA minus 14. Shop your numbers, respect the buy points, and manage your units. And as always, drop your best play in the comments and hit subscribe. OKBET Sports Picks, giving you the why behind every ticket.